Greetings, brothers and sisters. Bartek here. Welcome to the first episode of the playthrough for Alaloth, Champions of the Four Kingdoms. I have to tell you that I've been waiting for this title for quite some time. It's been delayed many times, but it's finally here. It launched today on Steam in early access. Today is the 30th of June, and I'm really excited to jump right into it and share it with you guys. Now, this game is developed and published by the Italian studio Chimera Interactive, and the devs themselves describe this game as a skill-driven ARPG game inspired by such classics as Baldur's Gate and Pillars of Eternity. It's set in a rich fantasy world resembling the darkest period of the Middle Ages. The game offers fast-paced action with a deep narrative. What can we expect regarding to game features? We will have to master a unique hardcore combat system. This is probably one of the reasons why the developers are recommending playing this with a gamepad, which I will be doing. Customize your character by choosing different ways of power, classes, and skills. Explore, craft, gain reputation, and unlock new quests. Choose one of 4 playable races. We have humans, elves, dwarves, and orcs, and 40 plus houses and clans to fight for, each with their own story. And there's also 12 memorable companions with their own backstories ready to join or fight you during your journey. Today, we're going to go through the character creation. We're going to make a character together and hopefully maybe even see some gameplay. All right, let's rock on.
In a time before the gods went to war, before the coming of Alaloth, there were 4 great kingdoms: the Republic of Laristir, the Blessed Kingdom of Ederhest, the Desolation of Baga, and the Expanse of Catacomb. Each kingdom, a collection of houses championing the virtues of the kingdom. Yet this was before Alaloth and the War of the Gods. During this pantheonic conflict, many gods were wounded and fell. At war's end, Alaloth, the great betrayer, stood above them all in triumph, casting his ominous shadow across the world. At his command, mighty tempest, spears of lightning, and dark energy rained down upon the land. Dragons, beasts, and other foul creatures not seen for millennia have appeared again, besieging the kingdoms with fire and death. These vicious creatures rage unchecked, laying waste to any and all in their path. And from the shadows, the spectral circle, worshippers of Alaloth, conduct dark rites and whisper secrets designed to seed unrest, lay the faithful low, and drive allies apart, all in service to their hateful god. And they are succeeding. Where once the kingdoms stood together against all threats, they have now turned on each other, suspicious and vengeful. And the war that once consumed the gods looks as though it will soon consume the kingdoms as well. And so it falls to a few, a band of champions, and whatever allies they can gather, to find a way to bring peace to the kingdoms and end Alaloth's reign once and for all. Are you prepared?
I sure hope so. Okie doke. Just a quick review of the settings that we have available to us. Not many available. General. Just a couple of settings regarding the rumble, whether we want to turn on or off tutorials. Do we want screen shake? Combat slow-mo. This one is interesting. Toggles camera slow motion triggered by certain combat actions. And what you're going to see here, it's going to be during combat. And sometimes it's going to look as if the game is stuttering, but it's not. I mean, visually it is, but it kind of goes hand in hand with the combat itself, or with the flow of the combat. So, yeah, we're gonna see if we want to keep this on or not. I've played the tutorial before I started recording this, and it works, even though it might be like kind of misleading that the game has some frame issues, frame rate issues. It doesn't, at least not in the beginning. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it on for now. We have the classic damage numbers that we will see above our enemies in the party cursor. Basic stuff. Now the video one, this is really poor. I mean, this has only a gamma slider, and you can turn on VSync or on or off. There is no other video options like resolution, for example. But again, mind you, and keep in mind that this is an early access game. I'm sure they will implement it in further iterations and further versions of the game. Audio, 3 sliders again: music, ambience, and sound effects. Nothing to write home about. And then we have controls. We have options for either keyboard or gamepad with 2 configs. The difference being that heavy and light attacks are either under the triggers or Y and X. I'm gonna play with config A. And yeah, let's choose a new game. A new empty save slot, and we have 2 options from the get-go. We have competitive campaign, where each kingdom has enlisted a champion to find the way into the Valley of Storms and kill Alaloth. These champions will impede your journey and will do everything in their power to bring glory to their kingdom. This mode places 3 competing champions on the map, making roaming and exploration harder, but giving you access to unique rewards. And option 2 is a single-player campaign. 1 champion across Plamen. I think it's Plamen or Playman, no idea, but I'm going to stick with Plamen. Chosen to be the herald of a new era. Face the trials and tribulations that plague the 4 kingdoms alone, holding the fate of everyone on your shoulders. This mode allows the player to be the one and only hero of Plamen. No champions to compete against, and only Alaloth to raise the stakes. And I want a chill experience. I don't want to compete with anyone. I just want to sit back, enjoy the game, and share it with you guys. So I'm going to go with the single-player campaign. Now we have 4 playable races to choose from. We have the humans from the Kingdom of Ederhest. We have the elves from the Republic of Larostir. We've got dwarves of Karakon. And we have orcs from the Desolation of Baga. Each one has some racial traits, apart from the humans. Humans are your basic no pluses, no minuses in the beginning. And the elves have plus 10 magic damage reduction, but a minus 5 poison resistance and minus 5 bleeding resistance. The dwarves have plus 10 ice resistance and minus 5 fire resistance, 5% fire resistance, and minus 10 magic damage reduction. The orcs have plus 5 poison, 5% poison resistance, plus 5% fire resistance, and minus 10% to ice resistance. I'm going to go with the elves. Ancient creatures of the woods, worshippers of Jeha and her children, the elven race have been known for their unbroken bond with the world that surrounds them. While they are not the most physically capable of the races, they compensate with swiftness and grace alongside their acute magical abilities. Unfortunately, their prowess in magic leaves them weaker against being bled by a blade or poisoned. Ooh, sounds ominous, but let's not fret. Let's choose the elves, and we have 4 fighting styles to choose from. But according to what the game says, this will only influence your starting equipment. Now, with heavy weapons, if we choose heavy weapons, we're going to have large weapons, which include 2-handed swords, battle axes, warhammers, massive clubs, and polearms. They are heavy and bulky, and if used improperly can be quite dangerous because they have a good range and heft. They are deadly weapons. However, due to their weight and bulk, they are often slow and tiresome to wield. This tends to give a very quick fighter a slight advantage over you. Next one is one-handed and shield. This is a very useful combination that was used for centuries, combining the power of the weapon with the defensive ability of the shield. You can use any weapon that you can easily wield with one hand, and the shield will protect you better than any other tool. Then we've got dual wielding, which refers to using a one-handed weapon in both hands. It is intended to be an option halfway between the damage output of two-handed weapons and the defensiveness of a shield and weapon combo. And finally, we've got pole arms. A common sight in the armies of the Four Kingdoms when marching on to war. The pole arm has the advantage of being long enough to attack the enemy from a comfortable distance, protecting the life of the wielder by keeping the enemy at bay. The fighting style relies on spears, halberds, and staffs, with a cost to maneuverability. We're going to go with, one-handed and shield because I want that extra protection for my little frail elf. And now, this is going to be quite a read because we've got 10 different houses regarding the elven race, each with their description. But for the sake of completeness, and so you have a better overview of what the game offers should you choose to buy it, or just stay and watch and enjoy. We're going to go through them all, so sit back, get a drink, get some popcorn, and prepare to listen to my voice. And prepare for me to butcher these elven names of the houses like Vas-Ilien, I believe. The All-Seeing, a small house where seer blood has run thin, some say blinded. It is rumored that the elven seer, druid, who inhabits the realm was once a member, but he no longer is among their number. In compensation for their loss of sight, these elves are scholarly, looking for answers to future questions in the tomes of their kind. Now, there are some syntactical errors and grammatical errors in this game, as well as some typos, but again, keep in mind, early access. Thil Vinail, the Ever-Vigilant, descended from the Ver Quintis Inquisitors. This house chose to give up its persecution of the elven races and join the two people as one. When this attempt at unification was decided, the house changed its symbol to two halves, being joined by the elven symbol of unity, a scepter possibly tied to a relic that was once the centerpiece of the House of Welcoming before the devastation of by the dragons. A bit of lore here, not really sure what that means, but probably we'll find out as we play the game. They are the shields of diplomats and any who vie for peace, no matter what race or perspective. Next, we've got the Nir Thiniel, the Silent Blades. Loosely translated as the Blades at Hand in Elvish, this house is largely composed of the Nir Aether, and they are believed to be the silent wall that protects the elven lands. However, when a great crime is done against the elves, the House of Nir Thiniel is secretly tasked to see that the crime is answered, even if it goes beyond elven lands. Ooh, I like this one. Let's see what we have as alternatives. Then we have the Ni Rehain. The Ni Rehain. From War, Wisdom is their motto. The most somber and warlike of the elves, this faction is composed of both the elvish races. They were forged several decades after the collapse of the Ver Quintis, and they believe that the elves must continue to fight on all fronts in order to take back the world that was lost. They have the largest standing ground force in Laristyr, and their commanders have studied countless tactics and skirmishes throughout the centuries. Then we've got the Versedai, I think. Our hearts to the flame. The Versedai believe in divesting themselves of physical anchors and offering oneself to the contemplations and beauty in the abstract, both inner and outer, believing that only calmness of spirit and anchoring one's consciousness can stem the oppressive psychological tide affecting the elves and driving them to the retreat. They are often counselors and free thinkers, and they often seek out those seeing the retreat to offer them help and work toward a resolution toward life. Lots of lore here. Not my cup of tea. The Mia Niriesta, Fly True. This house is primarily a military one, and they have perfected their craft with the bow and arrow. One of them is deadly. A group of them can decimate a force 10 times their strength with coordinated arrow attacks. The favor the favor and almost Zen archery believe in the truth. What? The favor and almost Zen archery belief in the truth a bow and arrow flight can bring, and once an arrow is loosened, it'll find its truth, even buried in the heart of an enemy. The near Firael, Swords of the Skies. Firael was believed to be the last child born before the coming of Alaloth. His circumstances of his birth split two houses. This is believed to have occurred due to his parentage. Normally, this is of little consequence, but when Alaloth descended and the Verquintis rose, the child was used as an example of how the mingling of blood had weakened the elven people. Firael, seeing two families divided, sacrificed his life to try and bring them together. Wonder if he succeeded. Lir Firael, the Shields of Firael. The Lir Firael are the second house, split by the circumstances of Firael's parentage. While the near Firael are nomadic, the Lir Firael are determined to protect Laristir itself from further events like judgments or hatred that split them so long ago. While the near Firael scattered in search of peace, the Lir Firael sought to remain at home, the Shields of Firael. They are often priests and warriors and consider birth of any race to be a blessing. Then we've got the Villain Live. The Villain Live? The Villain Live? I need some guidance, Gamera. Make a pronunciation guide to this. Hearth and Vale. This house is one of duality. They are known for seeing any situation or conflict from two perspectives, which at times slows their actions and other times allows them to correctly intuit the intentions of an enemy. They have a large cavalry force, not simply of horses, but other steeds as well, and the mount and rider fight as a deadly team. Sorry about that. And finally, we have the Seal Lirael. Their motto, nature leads. Once the house of the druids, the actual druids of Laristir are reclusive, so this group is more devoted to the keeping and safety of the forests of Laristir. They patrol the roads and root out monsters and dangers within the forest's depth. Their motto means both nature, in the meaning of wilderness, and nature, in the meaning of one's own soul. And they advocate all members to find their own path. The white stag is believed to be a spiritual symbol that guides those along his path, although the stag has not been seen in centuries. I think I'm going to go with the Silent Blades. The silent wall that protects the elven lands. When a great crime is done against the elves, the house of Baba near Thiniel is secretly tiled. Yeah, let's go with this one. I like this one. We've got three alignments to choose from the get-go. We have neutral, we have good, and we have evil. Description of neutral reads, people who are neutral with respect to good and evil have compunctions against killing the innocent, but lack the commitment to make sacrifices to protect or help others. Neutral people are committed to others by personal relationships. Good implies altruism, respect for life, and a concern for the dignity of sentient beings. Good characters make personal sacrifices to help others, and evil implies harming, oppressing, and killing others. Some evil creatures simply have no compassion for others and kill without qualms, if doing so is convenient or if it can be set up. Others actively pursue evil, killing for sport or out of duty to some malevolent deity or master. I'm going to go with neutral. I have a feeling this is going to give us most balanced options if, in fact, the alignment does influence, I don't know, dialogue options in the game, perhaps? We'll see. All right, neutral. Now, we have to choose a deity that we want to be our patron. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. Again, well thought through. The art style is also pretty nice. I'm digging the art style for these creatures. Yeah, okay, let's go. Bowahi, the nature goddess. Bowahi was one of the aspects cut from the earth goddess during the Pantheonic War, and she represents vegetation and the wilderness. While not evil or hateful, Bowahi cares little for civilization and politics of the split kingdoms and the gods themselves. However, she does actively resist and fear Alaloth's powers. power and knows that if the god frees himself from the Valley of Storms, he will not hesitate to turn forests and the wilderness to ash. And Boahi gives a boost to max speed in the forest and max stamina. Next up, we have the Allfather, the never-ending battle. Wow, plus 100 max health, plus 10 maximum stamina, and plus 15 bleed probability. The Allfather is the first and father of all gods. He was born from chaos, given conflict. Again, he was born from chaos, conflict given consciousness and purpose. He was believed slain during the Pantheonic War, but many of the faithful attest that he was simply wounded and sleeps until the day he can rise again. They also proclaim that if he were truly dead, it would be the end of change and the world itself would fall, still stagnate, and then cease entirely. So like Zeus, kind of? The big bad boss of all gods? Alright, we've got Bingel. Or Bingel. Bingel. Bingel has a better ring to it. The Hawk. Plus 7% critical probability, minus 5% skill cooldown. Bingel was once the goddess of the skies, but was wounded in the Pantheonic War, and Alaloth's ability to control storms and unleash spears of lightning tore great wounds in Bingel. Her powers weakened. The wounded goddess fell to the status of a lesser deity as she lost her domain of the sky and became instead a patron of watchfulness and sudden, decisive strikes like a hawk swooping on their prey. Cool backstory, bro. Okay, we've got Jeha, goddess of earth, plus 12 maximum stamina. Jeha is the earth goddess, the shaper of the world, and the raw elemental canvas upon which the blood of gods was shed and gave birth to the beasts, the sky, the sun, the moon, and all the people of the kingdoms. Uncaring of most of the affairs of humans, Jeha reserves her true blessings and favor for the beasts and animals of the kingdoms, and has gifted them with adaptability and the ability to grow to great sizes, limited only by their ability to hunt and consume prey. We've got Loron, lesser god of the tides, plus 5% map speed, water. So I guess when you're in the overworld map and you're moving across water, you get a boost to speed to travel. All right. Plus 10 maximum weight, lesser god of the tides, patron of sailors and pirates. That would make sense with the water movement bonus. Those that pray to him. Oh, it's a he. All right. Those that pray to him for clear water, calm waves, and a plentiful haul while fishing. Then we've got Tane, the hunter, plus 5% critical probability and plus 5% damage against beast. Tane came to life from the earth goddess when she was wounded in the Pantheonic War, and from that wound, a terrible sense of purpose was born. Not to elevate the world, but to hunt all that endanger it. Every beast, every foe, every abomination. While the earth goddess spawns children, the huntress is the one who trims them back when their appetites grow excessive. She dislikes her mother and blames her for allowing Xis to twist her magic to create the abominations that infest the realms. I like this one. I can relate. So she's kind of like the culling specialist. She keeps the balance. Alright. And I like the art style, so keep her in mind. Next up, we have Tutum, goddess of beauty, plus 25 max health, plus 5 physical damage reduction. Goddess of beauty and passion. A lesser goddess that is not widely prayed to. Maybe not prayed to, you know what I mean? Oversees the beauty of body and soul, as well as the love of lovers. Seducers sometimes pray to her to gain an edge in their amorous rendezvous. Alright. Ulher, lesser god of fertility, 5% gold increase and 5% luck increase. Lesser god of fertility and marriage is asked to give their blessing at weddings, and when couples try to conceive, it is thought that he might punish those that do not pray to him during these times. Alright. Weismeal, the light of peace, 5 plus 25 max health, plus 6 max stamina. Weismeal is the embodiment of the light of reason and forward thinking. Seeing this pantheon Seeing the Pantheon consumed by conflict and war, she sought a way to redefine challenge and conflict using the mortals as an example, rather than allowing the mortals to wage war on each other as the Pantheon war was content to let them. She sought a way to unite the mortals and turn their efforts outwards to shape their world, their philosophies, and even the universe itself. From what I've read, I think I can. Yeah, I can definitely say that I choose Tane. First off, first off, I am pretty sure I can pronounce her name right. Secondly, I love her art style, and third of all, I like the fact that she's like the keeper of the balance in the world. Very neutral. I like neutral. I like neutral. Gives a lot of leeway both ways. Okay, let's choose Tane, the hunter. And as for the character creation, again, since this is an early access game, choices are pretty limited here. Not many options, and yeah, again, I'm pretty certain they will improve that in further versions of the game. Okay, to start off, we have two genders. We have the male and the female. I think it's okay. Oh, maybe there's more genders here, but they're not specified, or I mean, they're not like described specifically. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll choose this one. Some options for skin color. I think I'm gonna go with this greenish look. Yeah. We've got a couple of hairdos to choose from. Again, not too many options, but there are options nevertheless. Um, Maybe this one? Yeah, let's go with this one. A couple of faces as well that you can change. You can't like customize each part of their face, like eyes and mouth and ears and nose and whatever, but you can take a couple of presets. I think there's two, three, four, five presets. Maybe this one? This one's got small eyes. I don't trust people with small eyes. Just kidding. Just kidding. This one looks kind of like Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate. The construction of her face, the nose and the lips. I don't want to play Lae'zel. This one? This one? This one? All right, let's go with this one. And age, we have a slider that we can go from. It's not a slider because actually there should be a slider implemented. Like with the head, like I think there should be like a scale from option 1 to option 5, and then you just skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it kind of cycles through, and since they are quite similar, at least the faces, you don't know if you've already seen it or if this is like another option that is given to you. So I would suggest making this a simple slider. Like you go from extreme left to extreme right, and it's clear. Here in the age, it's visible, right? You can go from very smooth, and you can and this is actually a slider. I mean, you can't cycle this through. If you go to head, you cycle through the heads, and there's no left and right, right? It just cycles through. With the age, there's a limit, right? I can't go further. See, this is the face blemishes that she has, and I can't go further. I can go left, and she's all nice and young and smooth. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. Yeah, let's make her elderly. Scars. Do you want any scars on her? Ooh, that's a horrible scar on the lips. Even worse, this one. Tiny scar on the lips now, and a huge scar on the neck. The eyebrow. And no scars at all. Do you want scars? Yeah, let's go with the one on the neck. Maybe a vampire attacked her or something. Backstory. We'll think about that. All right, and we have hair color, finally. We got blonde, we have dark blonde, we have red, gray, black, brown. Oh, this is black. Very red, very brown. I'm gonna go with blonde, I think. Which blonde? Yeah, I'm gonna go with this blonde. Okay, and for the last part of the character creation, we can Arwen. Nice hat tip to Lord of the Rings, I think. Arwen. I'm gonna leave this. You know what? I'm not very proficient in making names in RPGs, especially for female elven characters from a world setting that I know nothing about. So I'm gonna go with Arwen. Why the hell not? Are you sure you want to proceed with this character? You will be unable to modify it later. Yes, I do.
The elves from the Republic of Laristir have retreated from the world due to recent events. Some say the elves want nothing more to do with the other three kingdoms, or that they have grouped up to defend their homelands from the coming war and chosen an isolationist policy. Others say the elves are making their way west to the great ports of the retreat, where they seek to depart the continent for a new homeland. In truth, the situation of the elves is far worse than people realize, and they believe it was their weakness and lack of faith that caused the Pantheon to fall and deception to take root.
Yeah, sure. Blame the elves for
Even
everything.
more disturbing, there are rumors that an ancient gate to the underworld has been staring ever since the Tempest. A slow vibration emanating from it ever since the Tempest swept across the land.
No good. So, are the elves guarding a portal of sorts? We'll see. Okay, a little tutorial. Look who decided to show up for practice. I guess that soft bed and all those warm meals are taking their toll on you. Fear you'll lose your touch? Good morning to you too. Shall we begin? Exercise those muscles, go over the basics, so that the next time you face an opponent, you won't forget your training. Let's do this. Or no, I don't have time for this, which skips the tutorial. Of course, let's do this. Let's tutorialize. Finally, we'll start slow, get you in the mood for a fight. First things first, never take your eyes off the enemy. Stare them right in their sockets until there's no more life in them. Press R to lock on an enemy, while with multiple enemies, use R to switch your targets. Okay, basic stuff. Okay. Let us focus on him. If there are multiple enemies coming at you, make sure to not focus only on one of them for too long. Now it's time to strike. Go easy, nothing that will tire you out. Press X to perform a light attack. Light attack. Light attack. Light attack. Okay. Good, but these light strikes can only do so much against tougher opponents. Go for a heavier strike. Just remember, they may be deadlier, but it'll leave you exposed and tired. Meaning the stamina bar. See, this is like the light attack, it takes away this much, whereas a heavy attack takes a bit more, but I guess are more powerful, these attacks. Press Y to perform a heavy attack. Heavy attack. See, this is the little thing that I told you about, that the camera, the frame rates, they seemingly drop to 0 for a minute, but it's like a feedback thing, that when the strike lands, you have the feeling, and you definitely feel the strike going in when you're playing the game. So I'm gonna leave it on for now from the options and see if it's not too annoying. If it's too annoying for you guys, if you want to see it without, if you want to see the combat without the, I don't want to call them stutters, but without these stops, pauses, frame stops, let me know in the comments if you want it to go very smoothly. Okay. Each fight is unique. It's up to you to decide how to engage the situation. As you look at your opponent, make sure to notice their pose as you attack. It only takes one vulnerability to bring an enemy down, and there's nothing more reinvigorating than seeing your enemy stumble. Attack enemies with depleted poise to deal increased damage. When you break the enemy poise, you recover stamina. Okay. So we're going to try to break the poise. I guess the poise is, yeah, it's the yellow bar under the health bar up top. Okay. Okay, and it seems that once the poise is taken down to 0, it seems that I am regenerating some stamina. Yeah, the stamina bars regenerates really quickly. Awesome. So that means that successful combos later on in the game, they will be able to prolong your... well, it'll give you more abilities, I think, to perform longer combos and chain them, perhaps, even, maybe. We'll see, we'll see. Okay. The harder you hit, the more they will stumble. Press L and hold a direction to run. Now, it's not all about the action. It's also about reaching your opponent or running away. How about you give me some laps? Stretch out your legs. Sure thing. Come on, laps. I'm gonna lap you. Okay, good. Remember, fighting's not only about the attack. It's also about the defense. A quick dodge makes all the difference between life and death. I'm going to attack you now, and I expect not to hit you. Press B to dodge through an enemy attack. Whoops. Okay, dodge. Did you see the little slow-mo thing? Yeah, that's nice. I'm liking this. A successful dodge. Successful. Let me stress that. The successful dodge slows down the camera. It goes into slow-mo. Nice. I like the way it works. Dodging is all well and good, but that's not always an option for too long. You know where I'm going with this. Raise your arms and prepare to shield yourself from my attacks. We're going to shield ourselves by the means of holding the left button. Nice. Block. You still do get some damage, but you get much less damage. See, this is how much damage I get without blocking. Look. See, a lot. But now once I'm blocking, really, did it have to pop up right now? But yeah, you're going to have to trust me. Blocking with a shield reduces the damage taken. It does not, at least not with this shield, yeah? Maybe there's a shield later on that's more powerful, I don't know. But this doesn't eliminate all the damage, all the incoming damage, it just reduces it. Don't expect to hide behind that stance forever. The enemy will wear you down eventually. That's why you need to find that perfect moment where you can strike back as the enemy's attack is foiled. Come on, show me. Press left button right before an attack connects to parry. Okay, let's try to do that. Here we go. Oh, cool. It also stuns the enemy, giving me a quick moment, giving me a little moment to counterattack. Okay. Wow, missed that parry completely. Okay, trust in your instincts, but be careful. Enemies won't hold you back if you fail your timing. Attack the blocking enemy to be deflected, then press B to dodge out of it. What? Attack the blocking enemy to be deflected, then press... Ah, okay, so... okay, alright, I got you. So now I'm going to be attacking. Strike me now so you can feel your attack slip away as a block. Remember, when you lose your footing, it's better to dodge away to regain it than standing in place. Alright. He's blocking and I'm dodging. Your arms are not the only weapon in your arsenal. I know it's often forgotten, but your legs have power of their own. And a good kick can leave a blocking enemy defenseless for a little while. Press right button to perform a kick, breaking the enemy guard. Okay. This is Sporto! Alright. Those knives you have, while unlikely to cause any damage to an armored opponent, will get their attention, maybe even separate them from their group. Give them a shot. Ooh, I have knives. Perfect. Whee! Yeah, only 2 HP, but probably this is used for aggroing. Alright. A good warrior knows how to take a beating when they need to. Put your arms aside and let yourself be hit, then strike fast against your opponent. I find that course of action to be rejuvenating. Wow, you're crazy. After receiving damage, HP can be recovered by attacking. Okay. Well, attack me. Okay. And I'm gonna attack now. Yeah, see that little green... Yeah. It does get... A successful attack after getting hit does, in fact, give back some of your HP, but, mind you, not much of it. Right. Yeah, it does heal you for a bit. Don't forget those flasks on you. In case the enemy knocks the wind out of you, I trust that you know what you're doing, but in the heat of battle, we tend to lose sight of our own health. Wise words, Finiar, wise words. Oh, digging that little kung fu bow there, very Bushido. That's as much as we can do today. I fear that you'll see combat sooner rather than later, but at least you won't be forgetting the basics. Thank you, I'll be on my way. Okay, this is nice. This is very nice. Adira Jaiha, I know it is early morning, but a dove brought with it news from the capital. I suspect that you'd want to know at once that the High Chancellor himself wrote to you. I wish you'd have time to recover, but duty calls. What did the letter say? That the High Chancellor demands your presence, the sooner the better. More than that, it didn't say. I suspect it concerns the recent rumors of warriors being recruited across the land. Perhaps he's looking for a champion. So, it is time for Alaloth to die. Hopefully. I hope so. We all do. The High Chancellor has chosen wisely. He always does. We know that you will not fail our republic, and I will sleep easier when this 100-year nightmare has ended. Many thanks. I must be going. The High Chancellor awaits. Let's go and see the High Chancellor then. Ooh. Very nice art style. Very old school yet modern. Me likey. High Chancellor Filvidor Thilvinail. That's a mouthful. The High Council feels the grief of a parent sending their child into the fray with our summons, but difficult choices force our hand. Our republic is bleeding, succumbing to the corruption that Alaloth spreads into our nature, and you may be our only hope to see the light once more. Alaloth mocks us with his presence in our realm, and even imprisoned in the fabled Fifth Kingdom, he still runs our plamen. He still ruins our plamen. I fear that even the power of the gods can't keep him at bay for much longer. If he finds his freedom, then our world will wither away, gone eternally. I will face the perils, High Chancellor, no matter the cost. The thing that worries me is that, well, at least for now, I don't have any dialogue options. It's just kind of like one option to push the conversation forwards. Maybe because this is the intro and it's scripted. I hope there are options later on. We'll see. It pleases the council to have your undying loyalty, but it won't be enough to defeat a god. Jeha may look favorably on us, but she is weakened and her forests are decaying as we speak. But gloom is not all I bring, for we have found the answer to the valley that bars us. Sorry, but we have found the answer. Okay, answer. I thought it was entrance, but okay, the answer to the valley that bars us from the Fifth Kingdom. When the Lady of Light, she broke apart into when the Lady of Light, this is what I meant about the writing. See, this is unintuitive sometimes, so forgive me for stuttering and repeating the same sentence a couple of times, but again, it's the writing. I hope they improve it. When the Lady of Light, she broke apart into 4 artifacts and was scattered across the 4 kingdoms, one in each. Only the combined power of these artifacts can pierce through the Valley of Storms. Jeha permit, we will see the secrets of the sun before anybody else. We can be sure that finding them is no easy task. The most decrepit places on Plamen should be on our mind as you search for them. Beware, champion, for others are called to serve their kingdoms, and only one of you will have your chance to claim the Fifth Kingdom and kill Alaloth. Depart now, my emissary. Take us to a better world so that the retreat won't be necessary for us all. May Jeha watch my path. At the heart of the kingdom, within the Goldwood, by the stone scepters, one will find the sprawling capital city of the Elves, holding the Republic together with a unified goal and nature on their side, once ruled by Inquisitors, now ruled by the unity of House Thilvinail. They swore to protect their people and that no envoy shall know danger in this republic again. Two halves blended into one, bringing much needed strength to the elves in the face of Alaloth's wrath. With these words, guys, we're going to finish up the first part of the playthrough where we made the character and we have been sent on our quest, which is to collect the 4 pieces of something something so that we can access the valley in which Alaloth is trapped and we can kick his butt, freeing the world of his presence once and for all. Thank you for sticking with me for the first Let's Play of the tutorial. Second part coming real soon, maybe even today. We'll see how that goes. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I do enjoy the combat. It feels really nice. It feels responsive, at least in the tutorial section. And it is definitely not a hack and slash. This is not Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, or not Diablo Immortal. Definitely not Diablo Immortal, but this definitely gives off a vibe that you do need a little skill in here. You're going to have to block those hits, you're going to have to parry those hits, you're going to have to dodge those hits. It's not about button mashing, and I'm really looking forward to see the new skills that we get, because we will probably eventually get skills that augment the fighting. Oh, can't wait. Hope to see you guys in the next chapter of our Let's Play together. Thanks. Remember to sub, comment, like, all that goodness. I'll talk to you soon. Bartek out.